Alipay HK actually is only a newborn baby. We are a joint venture between Ant Financial, in China, and also CK Hutchison. And this is a JV which only announced early this year. So as I say, we are not yet even celebrate our first anniversary. And riding on the strength of both partners, Ant Financial, probably most of you know that they are, the very global and leading financial institution, for the e-payment. And CK Hutchison, they have very strong local retail network. So by riding on the strength of both partners, we actually have a very good kickstart in Hong Kong. And in the following minutes, I would like to offer talking about our position in Hong Kong. First is always people think that in Hong Kong it is quite credit card actually is highly penetrated. I'm not sure how many credit cards you have in your wallets, but I think if you just pick anyone in the street, probably 3 to 5 credit cards. So credit cards is very common. And Octopus also is another very highly penetrated in Hong Kong. We actually talking about 14, 15 million cards being circulated in the city. Though we have only about 7 million population, so probably some people they have 2. And then, but surprisingly, even with it so highly penetrated, if we look at, we ask, we have some survey, we ask people, okay, what are your company use payment methods? Octopus, credit cards, but cash actually still account a lot. You may wonder why, in Hong Kong, still so many people using cash. Actually, I don't know, because personally I don't like to use coins or the notes. But based on some banking industry survey back to 2017, we saw that this is the pie chart, and you can think about what accounts for 50%. Credit cards, but cash actually account for 40%, which is really high, right? I think surprise for most of us. Because we all think that, Octopus already cover the micropayment and credit cards, for those, more expensive items. Why is there still, a lot of such cash transactions in Hong Kong? And the position of our company is that, we see a lot of pain points of using, cash, and also the current payment method actually still, say for example, you need to carry coin, you need to carry so many different cards and Octopus. And for the merchant side, you still need to count the coins. You still need to, have, see a lot of long queues, outside, those supermarket or chain stores. And it is also very difficult to hire cashier, in Hong Kong, and there's a high salary cost. So we think that there's a position that there's something we can do by using our app. And also what we think more is that actually our app, we are not only positioning it as a e-wallet, we actually consider it is a super lifestyle app. And we believe that by introducing small, beautiful changes, we can actually let our user have a better experience in retailing, and also for merchant, we can also help them to transform their business by starting digitalization. Talking about so many good things, but why there's still barriers to adopt smart payment? Why still so many cash? We did some survey. Actually, there's a Alipay smart payment popularity index, which was conducted by Hong Kong Productivity Council in around mid-2018. And this chart showing the merchants' barriers. You can see the payment index, the retail smart payment readiness level is 62.2. And there are some, there are another numbers. What does that mean? Actually the one on the left-hand side, we find that the index is 61% of the merchant. They're talking, they're willing to adopt the smart payment. And they think that, according to the technology readiness of the companies, the index is 58.4. Sorry, I forgot to mention. 50 actually means it's just a passing rate, okay? So anything, above 50, that means it is average or above average. If it is below, that means this is not satisfactory, okay? And so, in terms of knowledge, in terms of, staff knowledge, they all consider that they are ready. But why still the adoption is low? Then you look at for the right-hand side. Based on the survey, actually about like over 60% of the merchant, they think that, okay, the demand actually is not huge for the time being. Although they agree that there is a trend, but the demand may not be, huge. And second thing is that they think the transaction fee is high. But actually, that's not true, and which I will tell later. And from the customer side, for customer, actually, the smart payment acceptance in the index actually is pretty low. It's only 45.5, which is below, passing rate. And if we look at, the main reasons, you can see that the above close to 70% of the users consider they are not familiar with the operation. They think it is very complicated. They don't know how to use an e-wallet. And another 50-something% is worried about the personal data leakage. They are not sure whether their data being well protected. So although we know that there's pain point, we know that there's a lot of things we can do to introduce smart payment, but how can we help the user or the merchants to overcome those barriers? Actually, because both user and a merchant, they are a closed loop ecosystem. We need to encourage usage, and by encourage usage, we at the very beginning, say like our company, we actually will use some benefit. We may give some incentive to our user when they use our e-wallet. They may get a coupon, which encourage them. They can utilize that in their next purchase. And most important is that we also need to bring in more use cases. For example, in Hong Kong, everyone know about F&B is very important because people are always going dining out. So we need to cover roll out to more F&B outlet. And also transportation is very important. So coming soon, we will launch using our QR code to scan in the minibus. And we also just won the tender from the Hong Kong MTR. We will introduce using QR code to pay for gate entrance by 2020. So we work very hard on this area. And so far, actually up to June, as we say, we launched early this year, and then actually as of June, we already have over 1.5 million active user, and we also already extend to over 25,000 merchants. But this number is not enough. Actually, we want to be the most popular e-wallet in Hong Kong, so we work very hard to bring in more use cases, to activate, to encourage more usage from our users. And then back to, there's a question about whether Hong Kong is a fintech hub. I strongly believe Hong Kong is a fintech hub because first, Hong Kong is already the most active and leading financial centers, and we are well located at the intersection of China, Asia, and rest of the world. And we also have a well-established banking and legal system, and we have a world-class financial and technical talent in the region. And what's more is that in Hong Kong, we have very high mobile penetration, over 200%. Our government actually support and encourage. And you can see that we have the issuance of the SVF license, which is the store value facility license, govern the e-wallet, and the virtual banking license coming will be announced very soon. And recently, the Hong Kong government also support by they fund 7 billion and also 200 million, respectively, to the Hong Kong Science Park and Cyberport to fuel the growth of the startup. And also recently, we already have over 1,000 members and 160 organizations in the Fintech Association. So we believe in Hong Kong actually is a very good city which is well prepared for the Fintech. Thank you.